It's like a moon landscape, wild and deserted, hot in the daytime, cold at night, and the wind always blowing. Paris-Dakar takes 20 days and nights. Sometimes the only available shelter during this mad, adventurous event is a tent. Drive, sleep, and drive again. This is the madhouse called Paris-Dakar. There is initial success for Peugeot. They are in the lead and very anxious to keep it. But there are no handouts in this desert. The Peugeot team lead the way. Their tactics is to count the winner among their team. The drivers Meta, Doughty, Zanussi, Arena, Giraud, Todd, the boss, and Fatanen, their star driver.
Todd, le patron, Fatanen, le numéro 1.
On the road again, stage after stage, in the hope of meeting each other again in the evening, safe and unharmed. How long can one endure this?
Nos aventures va sonner pour ceux qui en sont encore. Mais pour combien de temps?
Bien, bonjour.
Rene is the youngster of the rally. He took Terry Sabine's place after his tragic accident. He has a briefing every day and is happy to conclude that there are still quite a few participants in the event. I hope all goes well for you. At least it's a little cooler today. Magnificent and awe-inspiring is this world of sand, predominantly sand, during this 13,000-kilometer-long special stage. Trying to find the right track, landmarks, navigation, holding on to the compass, perfect navigation is necessary. Losing your way is a major disaster and can have very grave consequences.
Rene. Il navigue donc entre merveille et cauchemar.
Peugeots entered, things were relatively straightforward. The four-wheel drive cars dominated the scene. Toyota, Mitsubishi, Mercedes, Range Rover and others.
Avant l'arrivée des 205 Turbo 16 dans le Dakar, les choses étaient simples. Bien à leur place. Les motos faisaient leur course, les 4 roues motrices traditionnelles faisaient la leur. Les Toyota, Mitsubishi, Mercedes, Range Rover et autres partageaient les performances.
Peugeots would change the traditional landscape of the rally. Some of the competitors were worried. Others were not so sure that a newcomer could, without any experience, win a rally like this. It is, after all, sheer hell for man and machine alike.
Ne faut-il pas plusieurs années d'expérience pour gagner à Dakar? Le champion du monde des rallyes n'est pas encore arrivé. Les matins passent, et petit
The days go by. The drivers are now resigned to their fate. The Peugeots appear to have a lot of stamina. Even the four-wheel drive cars on their special terrain have to bow to the car that won the Rally World Championship last year.
Les 4x4 traditionnels qui s'essoufflent là où ils devaient larguer les Peugeots. Et on repart.
The infinite landscape of the African desert. Somewhere out there are villages. To the desert people, Paris-Dakar is the event of the year.
L'Afrique éternelle est au rendez-vous. Ici, dans ces localités naufragées de l'enfer des sables, le Paris-Dakar est très prisé. C'est le seul spectacle de l'année. Et quel spectacle!
Today, the leader of the pack is hit by trouble. The Finn Ari Vatanen has a comfortable lead, and his efficient service team take care that he doesn't lose too much time. Rally driving, and especially Paris-Dakar, is a matter of organization, especially organization of servicing.
Mais la veillante assistance Peugeot est là, avec l'efficacité que tous lui envient. L'heure n'est pas aux états d'âme.
And Vatanen is off. Still in the lead and not likely to give that position up. A dream that came true for Peugeot. At the end of the rally, Africa celebrates its winners. The blonde Finn and his loyal, strong Peugeot 205 Turbo 16. Vatanen, Giraud, and the chef d'équipe Todt are equally moved. They gave it all they had, took care of the smallest detail, and they are obviously very pleased. A dream has come true.
sillage de la 205, 2 titres successifs de champion du monde des rallyes. Marque et pilote à chaque fois, mais aussi toute une entreprise. Quand on connaît son métier, on peut davantage croire à sa bonne étoile. Oui, Peugeot a un certain goût du défi.
Peugeot want to increase their share of the market in America. From a publicity point of view, rally sport is the ideal means and the weapon. Still used in the 205 Turbo 16, an ideal opportunity to prove this offers itself in the Pikes Peak, a hill climb that has been organized annually since 1916. The start is at a height of 2,800 meters, the finish at 4,300 meters, and the total length of the course is 20 kilometers. It's uphill all the way in a typically American funfair atmosphere. The participating cars are roughly divided into three categories. The typically American stock cars with 5-liter engines that yield 400 to 500 horsepower. More spectacular and even more typically American is the open wheels category. They are curious constructions, often highly powerful, built with enormous imagination. They are sometimes equipped with aeroplane or helicopter engines, but more often with 7-liter V8 engines. And then the royal class of the Pikes Peak, the open rally class, American participation with typically American cars, but the giants of European rally sport dominate the scene. The Ford RS200, a Mazda, a 4-wheel drive Golf with 2 engines, Audi Quattro Sport and official works representative Walter Röhrl. A Lancia Delta S4. An MG Metro. And 3 Peugeot 205 Turbo 16s. It's like old times again. It seems as if Pikes Peak is the new gathering place for the old Group B cars that are no longer allowed to compete in the World Championship rallies, and therefore turn to Rallycross or to Pikes Peak with all its attractive publicity. In the largest hill climb in the world, it's Peugeot against Audi, a new challenge for the 205, but also a tricky one, because Audi, having competed here in previous years, have the advantage of experience. Jean Todt, the Peugeot team manager, is fully aware of the importance of experience. When you are starting out in a new discipline, you have to learn, especially if you're dealing with an opponent you've met frequently in the past, such as Audi and Walter Röhrl. And Audi have participated here 4 or 5 times before. They've won once, they know the circuit and its problems, which are basically different from those in a normal rally. Grip is extremely important. We have big spoilers in front and at the back to increase the pressure on the wheels as much as possible. If you don't do that, it's as if you're racing on ice.
Sur nos voitures des ailerons gigantesques et impressionnants. À l'avant également, il y a un appui aérodynamique qui a été rajouté qui nous permettent de mieux faire appuyer la voiture et de manière à ce que la puissance au sol puisse passer et non laisser les roues patiner.
A few weeks before the race, Peugeot sent a reconnaissance team led by Ari Vatanen, Jean-Claude Vacar and Darc Levachier. A new 205, 140 kilograms lighter, but with a more powerful engine, almost 600 horsepower, has been especially adapted to meet the particular requirements of a hill climb like this. But careful calculation and research are not enough. It also takes common sense. In the open rally category, the slowest cars are the 2-engine Golf with Kleint Anderson's Audi Quattro and Alessandra's Delta S4. Scheckter is doing well in his 205 Evolution, just keeping up with Wilson in the Ford RS200 and Millen in a Mazda RX-7. The third fastest training time is for Andre Zanussi, but all attention is focused on Ari Vatanen and Volterol. The qualifiers go over half the distance only. Roll clocks 4 minutes 40 seconds, but has to concede an even faster time to Ari Vatanen. Ari Vatanen is fastest, leading Audi by 4 seconds. Peugeot still confident, but vigilant.
After our testing, we have done a lot of work, and mechanics have worked extremely hard to improve the car, and so has Jean-Claude Vocard, and it's due to their effort. Car is now considerably better than a week ago, and we were able to go much faster now, so it was very rewarding now, very rewarding.
We've progressed little by little. Vatanen must be the fastest today, although we don't underestimate Audi and Volterol. Saturday, the day of the race. On Friday evening, thousands of spectators secured themselves of a place. The start is in reverse order. The slowest qualifiers start first, Zanussi, Roll and Vatanen go last. Andre Zanussi. He'll reach the top of Pikes Peak in 10 minutes 56 seconds, taking 12 seconds off the old record held by Bobby Unser in an Audi Quattro Sport. And then Walter Roll. He drives an immaculate race in a perfectly prepared Audi Quattro. Faster again, 8 seconds ahead of Zanussi, taking 20 seconds off the old record. Ari Vatanen in his 16-valve Peugeot 205. Peugeot and Audi teams follow the race carefully as the times come in. Vatanen gives everything he's got, but he has his doubts. 5 kilometers after the start, he felt that the engine wasn't working perfectly. At the finish line, there is no denying the stopwatch. Roll was the fastest, leading Vatanen by 7 seconds and Zanussi by 8. Jean Todt. Walter Roll won. He had problems in the training grounds. We had problems in the race. We had mechanical failure after a few kilometers. It's a pity, but it's all in the game.
C'est la course. C'est dommage.
Yes, c'est la vie, like you say.
C'est la vie.
Next year we're going with a proper clip.
A new Pikes Peak record for Audi. Peugeot second, third and fourth. cylinders, 24 valves, 430 horsepower. The BMW of Max Manners and Alain, a classical source of power, 260 horsepower. The small BMW 325 Group A car, driven by Begin and Schausch. The BMWs take the lead immediately from the start. They leave the Group B Lancia far behind. Closes in, and still the BMWs are in the lead, ahead of the Lancia and the rest of the pack, battling in the storm. There are also pit stops when the drivers change places, as with Malcher. 1 BMW, 2 Lancia, 3 Matra, 4 Audi, 5 Lancia, 6 Visa, etc., etc. But nothing will stop the BMW. Victory for Begin Schausch, with Sebi Biazion second and Lapri Kruker in third.
the 1970s, the sport of rallying had changed from gentle road-going competition to high-speed action. It was faster, more glamorous and much more specialised than ever before. The start of an exciting age for a very exciting sport. Rallying in the 80s is the story of how a sport evolved through the first decade of a fledgling world championship, and also how cars and manufacturers changed as well. For example, the Ford Escort becoming the powerful Group B RS200. The Fiat Abarth in champion form as the decade began. The Lancia Delta, the champion car, as it ended. From the same stable, the Talbot Sunbeam Lotus, the Group B Peugeot 205. It was a decade that saw the four-wheel drive revolution, and it was a decade that saw familiar rally cars turn into the Group B monsters in the never-ending quest for power, speed and performance. But by the end of the 80s, familiar shapes had returned, and the emphasis was still on superb engineering and as much as ever on the craft, skill and courage of the men behind the wheel. Rallying, and the World Championship in particular, is the supreme test of technology and driving talent, taking place as it does on such a wide range of surfaces and in so many different climates. From snow and ice to high-speed tarmac, gravel stages that shred the tyres, and Britain's forest tracks on the RAC Rally. This is where it was all played out, and few sports have changed as much as rallying did in the 80s.